Well, nothing much since we lost, but today we're going to get into the Wizards' overtime loss to the Cavaliers. Let's get to it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Wizards podcast. It's your host, the real Ed Oliver, with my guy, Brandon Scott. And today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code Locked On. So the Wizards end up losing today in overtime to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 117-107. The Wizards had a chance to win this game, but they basically choked it away. Brandon, out of all the reasons why we lost this game, which out of the three? Was it free throws? Was it turnovers? Was it rebounding? Which of the three do you think contributed most to this loss tonight to the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I'm going to say free throws overall. Before I even get on the free throws in overtime, 6 free throw attempts in regulation. The inability to get to the line was a problem. I thought they should attack more. They should have, drew more fouls. They didn't. That's a big issue. That was a big reason right there why they were in the position they were in to go into overtime. Overtime, 1 for 5. Bill missed 1. Kuz missed 2. KP missed 2. You got to hit those, especially big 3. They got to hit those. Especially that core 3, they got to hit those shots. We said it and we say it again. Games like this, especially against Cavaliers, minus Garland, this has to be a win. These are the wins you need. And yeah, we fought hard. We really fought hard. For a second, we let them get back into the game. We ran with it. I think it was an 8-0 run to start the game, and ended the first quarter. They started coming back, and then they took over the game. That comes with, I said before, keeping the foot on the gas. You can't let up on teams like Cleveland. Cleveland's in it to win it. Look, Donovan Mitchell, I'm trying to tell you, 37 points. He was cooking tonight. He was cooking with grease tonight. So free throws, Brad, he has to hit that free throw. Cruz, front rends it. KP, he has to hit those. I mean, they gave him another one. He still missed it. So I'm a roll with free throws.
Yeah, I think offensive rebounding really hurt. You look at the numbers the Cavaliers had. Let me look at the numbers here. They had 16 offensive boards, and there were times where we had some really good defensive possessions, and they would get a 3, or Shetty Osman would knock it down from 3, or Dean Wade would knock down a 3-pointer. Donovan Mitchell would get another opportunity. Karis LeVert would get another opportunity. Jared Allen, who's a really good finisher around the rim. Evan Mobley. They got some bigs down there that are very versatile, that are athletic, that can rebound the ball. We struggled with that tonight. We got dominated on the boards. But yeah, free throws, I would say free throws too. It's really tough. The turnover too. Bradley Beal had a crucial turnover during the clutch. Where he jumped. You never want to leave your feet. You never want to leave the ground and be airborne, get into the basket like that, and leaving your feet. And he tried to throw to Kuzma, and then Bill threw his hands up in the air. And I'm like, Brad, that's on you, man. I mean, you can't leave the air or leave your feet like that and then try to make a pass. That's just the cardinal sin right there. You can't do that. And Bradley Beal was great in the clutch in the Bulls game, but we have to be objective and say, hey, you weren't good in the clutch. You missed that free throw. Like you said, Kuzma missed both free throws, and Kuz is usually known for being clutch. Porzingis, they gave us a foul. They called a foul on Jared Allen on the inbounds pass. It was very close to a 5-second violation. They gave us a foul, so they actually did give us. They weren't giving us many calls. I'm not going to blame them on the refs. There were some awful calls down the stretch. I wrote down something I can't remember off the top of my head, but there were some awful calls during the game. Like when Jared Allen just did a no look and tried to dunk the ball. They called a foul on Porzingis. But yeah, free throws they hurt us. They hurt us. Offensive rebound and turnovers down the stretch. All 3 of them combined were killers. But the free throws, they have to knock down free throws. And they were 9 for 15 from the free throw line, which is 60%. It's when they missed those free throws when we really needed them. We had to rebound the ball better, had to get some stops. But yeah, I mean, overall they did fight hard. They were down by 10 at one point. And they rallied hard. Will Barton had a really nice steal. Bradley Beal had a nice steal. It was back-to-back steals to get it to overtime. So I think this was a learning experience. I'm not panicking or anything like that. I think this was definitely a learning experience game. Learning some lineups, some rotations here, there too, what works and what doesn't. But they got to pick their heads up, and I think this was a learning. It was a good team. Like even without Darius Garland, the Cavaliers are a good team. Donovan Mitchell, he is a force, and he got MVP chance for a reason.
Absolutely. Like I said, he was cooking tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did whatever he wanted. Allen, as much as I love KP, Allen did whatever he wanted in the paint. Allen was aggressive tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He was just, and I think, a lesson to be learned from KP. Look, you got to man up. You're going to go through a lot of centers in this Eastern Conference. Jared Allen, that's one. Embiid, you got to be able to handle the paint. I thought that Allen kind of did whatever he wanted, but no, they fought hard. And I'm not panicking. I think that this is still good basketball from the Wizards. They still fought hard. I like what I see. It's never really a good loss. You don't want to lose, but they lost in style. They really fought to the end. Cleveland, they pulled away in overtime, but just to be in a position of being 10 down and going into overtime, it's still impressive. So no, I like what I saw from this team overall. They have to really shore up some things. We mentioned free throws, communication on the offensive end. There was a play where Rui was supposed to come up at the 10-second mark and do the pick, and there was miscommunication with Coach West. And there was a few instances where I saw, especially in transition, where communication was poor. People were still trying to figure out their assignments. They need to work on that. Free throws, turnovers, 20 turnovers. Turnovers got to get better on that. But overall, I like what I saw. Monte Morris, 13 points, 6 assists. Better night shooting the ball. Rui, off the bench, 16 points with a three-pointer. Bradley Beal, he showed out. KP, 18 points, 10 boards. And Kuz, a little underwhelming, 11 points. But, like I said, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I like what I saw from this team. It's a loss, but it was a winnable loss, if that makes sense.
Oh, certainly it was a winnable game. It was a winnable game for sure. It was a back-and-forth game. Like you said, we started off hot. It was 13-3 at one point. Porzingis had 2 threes, and he had a nice putback dunk. Looked like we were going to run away with it, but, it's a long game. It's a game of runs. They put the bench unit in. The bench unit struggled, and that's when the Cavaliers called up. They took a lead. Guys came off the bench like I said, Dean Wade and Shetty Osman. They got to cooking. Kevin Love hit 1 3. And I think he hit that in the first half. Even Robin Lopez got in the mix. Raul Neto scored 4 points. So there were some times where we definitely struggled. But I did want to ask you about the closing situations too. Do you think Bradley Beal should be the ball handler bringing the ball up, or should it be more of DeLon Wright bringing it up? Maybe that could help Bradley Beal kind of be better in the clutch where he's not having to bring the ball up. But before we do get to that, we got a quick word from PrizePicks. PrizePicks is super easy, man. I used it today on a couple football games. Terry McLaurin, his over-under was 53. He ended up getting 73 yards and a touchdown, so I did hit on that, but it's super easy. You pick 2 to 5 players. This is how it works. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they will go score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, cricket, Eurobasket, and even more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKED ON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code LOCKED ON and sign up for an instant deposit match to up to $100. Super, super easy. All right, and also this episode is brought to you by Game to Game. Now, thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Game to Game. Every moment, every top performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NBA with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. All right, so back to the question I was asking: do you think it would be better if they had, DeLon Wright bringing up the ball? I know they want to switch it. West wants to switch it up and have Brad bring it up and be the primary ball handler during the clutch. But do you think that could prevent Brad from some of those late game turnovers?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It's a good question.
Mhm.
I think that DeLon Wright needs to bring the ball up. I think Bradley Beal, I bring it up all the time. When he dribbles too much, trying to do too much, he creates turnovers. He's really got to work on that. He's becoming predictable, and defenses are starting to see that. He's got to. No, I definitely want to see DeLon Wright bring the ball up, and like I want to bring that up anyways. DeLon Wright in the final lineup is what I want to see. Now his defense, oh man, I mean to me, outside of Denny, he's the best defensive player on this team. And that's my opinion. Outside of Porzingis, he's 7 foot, but outside of Denny, he's the best defensive player on this team. And Denny didn't look good on the defensive end tonight, so you can argue he's the best defensive player tonight because he's just. I forget what. Oh man, what was it? It was fourth quarter inbound, and I was just watching him, man. And he's working so hard at defense. He's trying to. Oh man, it's just incredible watching him play defense. That's effort. That's the effort I want to see on the defensive end. So, no, great question. No, I definitely want to see DeLon bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we should have our point guard bring the ball up and just get Bradley Beal to help set Bradley Beal up to be a scorer, to do what he's best at. Bradley Beal had a good game. I thought he had a solid game. He took a lot of efficiency. He was 11 for 16 from the field. He was very efficient. Only took 1 3-pointer. Had a DeMar DeRozan-esque kind of game. 5 for 7 from the free throws. Got to knock down the free throws. 5 assists, 4 boards, but he had 6 turnovers. That's the killer for him. Those 6 turnovers, and a couple of those turnovers happened in the worst times in the clutch of the game. But like I said, overall, he had a good game. It's just how you finish it. And I think him coming off screens, knocking down some threes or knocking down jumpers, mid-range shots, is where he's best at. And I know he's good as a primary ball handler too, but just at times I think, just it would help him settle down, get back into that scoring mode. So, like you said, DeLon Wright, he earned his minutes. DeLon Wright had a nice steal and had a really nice alley-oop to Rui on a fast break. He had a deflection that led to another fast break too. He had 5 assists. He had 7 points, 2 steals, 2 boards, 2 for 3 from the free throw. So he's just a stat sheet stuffer, man. He was a steal of a signing this offseason. Like you said, Denny didn't have his best game tonight. 2 points, 2 boards, 1 for 6 from the field. He had 4 fouls. So he had more fouls than points tonight. And he got blocked twice by Jared Allen to start off. Then he got a little physical and finally and then finished a floater over Jared Allen. He was also 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. He was a +1 and a +-. So not one of Denny's best games. And that's the thing about Denny. He's very inconsistent offensively, but he's a better defender. That's why he's in the starting lineup, because he's a better defender. And then you have Rui coming off the bench because, Rui's just a better scorer, but the defense is where he's lacking. And we want to see Rui rebound the ball better. Rui had 3 boards, which I think he can do better than that. But he scored really well. He had 2 threes, 2 for 3 from the field, from the 3-point line, 7 for 12 from the field. So I thought Rui had a solid game. I thought Rui could have got some more playing time. Rui played 20 minutes. Denny played 14 minutes. So I do feel like Rui could have got some more minutes tonight. But yeah, it's just West is still figuring out the rotation still too.
Yeah, it's gonna take time. It's game 3, so he's still figuring out the rotation, and it's understandable. But Bradley Beal, like you said, had a great game. It's not really on him. I mean, the turnovers, yes, were on him, and really that's what separates you, the above average starters to the elite guys, is those small moments. Those that's what counts. And if he wants to solidify himself as that max franchise, that next level player, he's got to show that up. But overall, great game. Like you said, great game. No, I think that looking at Kuz and KP, and while KP had a good game, Kuz struggled a little bit. It was very underwhelming. I'm gonna say that. But you want to get paid, it's gotta be a big 3. They gotta help Bill out, and that was the biggest thing. Is that KP, like I said, 18 points. So he put in, but I think he can do more. I think he's capable of more, in my opinion. And Kuz, if you want to get paid, you've got to be that guy to pick it up. You can't have off nights. You can't. Not when you're trying to contend. Not when you're trying, So I wanted to see more from the supporting cast. But no, I mean, Monte Morris, again, he's playing better. He's starting to score, 6 assists. So, it's a learnable loss. Cleveland, we stayed with it. We fought hard. And Cleveland, like I said, that's a game you have to win because this Eastern Conference is a monster this season. I'm trying to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I'm not panicking. I still like what I saw. So, but before we move on, tonight's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all of your latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game, like tonight's game. As always, BetOnline remains your continuing source for all your sports wagering information, with live betting and up-to-the-minute scores for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including Major League Baseball, MMA, boxing, and the NBA. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, yeah, I'm not panicking yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think even the effort tonight shows me that this is a pretty good team. I was thinking that when I was watching the game. This is a good team. You see a lot from this team you haven't seen from previous teams. We said this a lot during the offseason and preseason and leading up to the regular season is that there's just a spark with the team, and you see it. They do have chemistry. They do work well together. They have a few errors here and there, but I really thought they should have took advantage of Garland being out because like we said with the Bulls game, you throw Lonzo Ball and you throw Levine in there. That's a totally different game. But Mitchell, were they really missing Garland? Mitchell was cooking, man. That makes Cleveland scary, man. They're missing Garland, and that's what I'm saying. The Eastern Conference is a monster. So, I could talk on forever, man. But I'm not panicking. I like what I saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you look at some more numbers too. The Cavaliers shot 25 free throws to our 15, and you look the game before against the Bulls had like 15 or 22 more free throws than what we did. So is that on officiating? I hate to blame officiating. Is that on officiating or just the Wizards not being aggressive or not getting to the basket enough? So that's a trend. And once again, like we talked about, us getting out rebounded 40-35. The Wizards had 20 turnovers, and the Cavaliers had 28 points off turnovers. So that hurt. They were able to capitalize off of those turnovers that we had. And then looking at some more individual performances, Gafford had 2 points. He's kind of had a rough season. He just can't set a screen to save his life properly. So I don't know what went on with Marcin Gortat. I don't know if Gortat needs to come back and still teach him, or Gortat was teaching them something that is an illegal screen that just doesn't work anymore. Is he telling them something that used to work back in the John Wall days, back in 2017, but the game has changed and the refs are calling it differently? Like, what's going on? They need to bring a ref into practice or something like that and talk with Gafford and see what's going on with these screens. Like, what's the root of the problem? Because every game he's getting called for an illegal screen for the past, all 3 games that we've had, I think he's been called for at least one illegal screen, and that's getting him in foul trouble. Of course, he's just got to be strong on the boards too. He just has to be strong regardless in the game. He's kind of like getting pushed around a little bit. But I still like Gafford a lot. I really do. But there's definitely some improvement areas for him. Will Barton, I thought he played well for the most part, 9 points. Just the turnovers hurt, 5 turnovers hurt. That still was huge. He had a big 3 as well, like a pull-up 3 that brought it closer in that comeback. But I was impressed by that still. When Brad took the ball away from Donovan Mitchell, that pickpocket still, and Porzingis hit that step back 3, and then Brad got the steal, and then after that Barton got the steal, and then it tied it up. That was crazy. I was almost jumping up and down because I was so excited how he came back. Like you said, on Kuz, not one of his best games, and the free throws really hurt us. He didn't even look confident on the free throw line. Monte Morris, I thought he had a good game too. It's just tough, like who's going to finish between him and DeLon. You got to make that decision. Who's the hot hand, but I think DeLon is the better choice to finish the game. Anthony Gill, he played. Johnny Davis didn't play. Those were the DMPs. Johnny Davis didn't play. Jordan Goodwin didn't play. Brennan Carey, Taj Gibson, Isaiah Todd didn't play. So Johnny Davis so far has not touched the court. He has not taken his warm-up off so far. And they did announce the G League roster, and we'll probably talk about this tomorrow, the G League roster. Quentin Jackson did make the G League roster for everybody that's asking. I know everybody was happy. I know, left hand up. Who are we? The Wizards. The Commanders did win today. But, yeah, so that's just my random thoughts, too, about the game. Just some individual thoughts. And Rui, I think Rui needs a little bit more play. When he's hot like that, I think he does need some more playing. But, of course, the concern is the playing time. And then the call that I didn't like, they called an offensive foul on Monte Morris when he was on a fast break. Like he kind of put his arm out, but I thought that was a bogus call. Wes Unseld Jr., he did challenge when Kuz tried to take that offensive foul. He tried to take the charge on Jared Allen. I knew they weren't going to call that, especially on the road. So I think Wes, I don't mind him challenging, but he should have known that, hey, they're just not going to turn that over. They're not gonna give us that call. Ball movement, I thought it was fine. It could have been better, but we got a good amount of assists tonight, so we did move the ball, and we're still an unselfish team, which is what I like. But yeah, I mean, once again, we got the Pistons on Tuesday. We'll preview the Pistons tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, like you said, this was a learning experience game. This is a learning game. This is something that they certainly can learn from and get better. So I think sometimes I'm not gonna say you need to lose, but sometimes you need a humbling loss just to see you can go back and watch the film. But these are easily fixable things that we saw tonight: turnovers, free throws. Those are rebounding, just being tougher. Maybe you have to put Taj Gibson in there. Maybe you have to play Zingis and Gaff at the same time. We talked about this too. Like Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, they're two guys that are 6'11", 7 feet tall that can rebound. Maybe West should have tried to play Gaff and Zingis at the same time so they can rebound the ball better. Or just have a big lineup. You know, I don't think West really did that tonight either. So that's an improvement area too. Just on every players, coaches, everybody I think contributed to showing that they had some areas that we need to fix going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I going back to Gafford. You know, I want to see some improvement this season from Gaff. You know, the mistakes. You know, when he makes a mistake, kind of getting down. You know, it's just, nah, man, you gotta learn. I mean, this is, you know, this is not your first day in the system, man. You know, and I mean, look, I'm a big Gaff fan. I love the acquisition from Chicago. Big Gaff fan. I love what he played. I want to see more of a mid-range from him, yes. But the fouls, you know, like you said, how many games do you need to get hit for the same call till you start working on that? You know, he's got to watch that. So I'm with you. I was wondering if they were going to play a bigger lineup tonight because I thought that it could have made a difference. I'm gonna say that because I watched Kuz guard Mobley at times, and he just the height difference. You know, he was just Mobley's a talent. You know, this is the team you got to beat. I'm telling you, Cleveland is just the Twin Towers. And another thing, I believe they started Okoro, which, like I said, Okoro hasn't played much, so I was surprised to see that over Usman. But you know, Usman, that's another guy. You know, he shot well tonight, and he shot a couple of threes over Denny. Not to get back on Denny, but now overall, like you said, it's a measuring stick. It's game 3. You know, we got 79 more to go. So I've seen enough through 3 games. I know it's just 3 games, but this team is an improvement over last year. It definitely is. Just a completely different team. This team can be a playoff team. You know, they show up these areas. You know, I've seen enough. They, you know, shout out to Tommy. He found some good pieces in Barton and Morris because they're fitting right in. They're fitting right into the system. And you know, Bill, I think it goes up from here. I think he's going to solidify himself as an all-star this year. Same thing with KP. You know, as long as he doesn't shave the beard, you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, man, look, measuring stick loss. But, you know, Detroit, like I said, tomorrow we will preview that young team, ready to roll. So, you know, we have some matchups coming up. But overall, I like what I see.
Yeah, and I thought the refs also, they missed a push-off by Donovan Mitchell before overtime. The step back, he pushed the long right, kind of like the Michael Jordan step back a little bit, where he pushed Byron Russell. I thought Donovan Mitchell got away with that. But like I said, we didn't lose because I'm not gonna say we lost because of the refs. We shot ourselves in the foot. But Brandon, yeah, you can wrap it up tonight, and we'll check in with you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, hey, appreciate everybody watching the game. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Definitely hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. We love your feedback. Please like and subscribe. Everybody have a good night. And Tuesday, like I said, we're going to do a preview. But if you don't catch the preview, make sure show your support. Let's get this dub on Tuesday night. All right, everybody, have a good night and peace.